worries, brother.
Do I look sunburned?
No, you just look a little shiny.
That's my
maybe a little
Sam,
bit.
I literally just got out of the shower. I think if this camera was better, you'd see. So like, here's the skin tone of my hand.
How you get sunburn in October?
I know.
So somebody just had a birthday.
Yeah,
How
I
does
did.
29 feel on you?
It was great. I've been thinking a lot about that. You know, like, don't worry about being a loser in your 20s. The 30s is where your career happens, you know. And then like the 40s, you think about finishing
The 40s is where your career
50s is where you plan for retirement. And then, you know, by 60s and 70s, you're retired. So I'm like just barely incredibly behind schedule on all of that. And Kelsey's lying. I just turned 23.
How are you behind on being a loser? You're literally
no, I'm right on time.
right
with
on
that.
schedule.
I was thinking it'd be so cool if when we go to see Sam T, if we could stick a camera in his face and say, Sam, I'm a Lund guy. Also, could you say, hi, this is Sam Talent. Welcome to Siblings in Name Only.
No, I don't want to meet that man. I swear to God,
I could just see him like, oh, okay.
No, if he is around somewhere, I am literally walking the other way. That is like my nightmare to the comedian. Because I know I won't be able to like keep up, and I'll just be like, When I met Meat Canyon, who was like pretty funny, it did not go well. Okay, I can't do it.
Oh God, did anybody else hear that?
No, the hardest part about having a podcast is coming to the realization that I'm like not funny, and that really hurts.
That's okay.
No, it's not. What is my brand if I'm not funny?
You're the autistic one, I guess.
You guys stop that, okay? Because I'm gonna have a real breakdown. The amount of people who have sent me that photo of that wolf, and it's like when people tell me they think I'm autistic and not cool and mysterious. I think 3 people have sent that to me now, and it's getting not funny. Okay, it's getting hurtful. It's feeling a little targeted.
That was very funny. Sorry, I was gonna count and see what episode we were on.
Why? The last one. How about that?
Oh, this is good content too. Now that our viewership is exploding.
So once again, I don't know if Daniel's just never gonna show up again, but
okay. Daniel's the Becker of the show.
His
comes in when it's time, and then he he shows up for 5 minutes and then leaves. Doesn't say a word, just goes and then leaves. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here.
All right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta
go. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's not dilly-dally too much. I think if we...
this is my child.
What is that?
You like it?
No.
So,
oh, scheisse.
I proposed the idea of this being vulnerability hour. So you guys are going to delve deep into, at the very least, my relationship problems, and maybe Brandon's past issues. Not that Brandon's ever had relationship issues. Yeah. So money. No, well,
no, I'm typing myself a note. I need to get money from this high schooler. So I wrote high schooler's name, money.
You gotta find him in the halls and push him against the locker. Shake him out.
Money, kid.
Kid, where's shot?
That does sound okay. As a side note, the idea of kids walking around and having to have money to like pay for food does seem kind of like, as much as I'm like, they'll figure it out. Like that does seem pretty dangerous. Like,
yeah,
you know, to the point where like, yeah, I like I don't even carry cash in my wallet, even if I have it. I keep it out of my wallet until I know I'm about to buy groceries with it, and then I put it in and then I spend it.
Bro, I don't even carry a wallet.
So
I can be like, well, I don't have anything on me.
Oh my god!
Okay, can I just
that episode of Family Guy with Gumble to Gumble when he's like taking the notes and he's like, so sir, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's the guy who snatches the purse on Gumble to Gumble, and he's like, so what do you have to say for, or something like that? What do you have to say for yourself? And he's like, what do you mean? I saw the lady's purse and I took it. And then it goes back to the detective and he's like, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
So anyway, Family Guy references aside, I forgot what I was gonna say.
And he says something else too, because he's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Anywho, I guess we'll just move on because I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Money. You were talking about money.
Oh, yeah,
relationship troubles and money.
I love money.
I can't get enough of it.
Me too. Oh, I think it's a little bit sleazy. Yesterday 2 days ago. Not that it matters. These two people come into my work and they were like, we're doing a fundraiser for our church. We're selling these 3D vinyl pop. And you move it and it's like, it like moves, whatever. It's to promote peace. That's what they keep doing. Peace. And they would like any donations, or if you want to buy one of these, they're $30.
I can't quite pin down what accent you're doing, so I'm not going to bleep that quite yet. But
yeah,
you're on thin ice, just so you know.
It's $30 for peace. So do you think you would want to buy from us? And I said no. And my manager was there too, so it was already like super uncomfortable,
Yeah.
Because what she did? She walked off. She didn't even help me. She walked off.
With those people?
Yes. She walked off.
It's just like, I don't care.
And I was like, no, I'm good. And they were like doing that where they're like super hard pressuring, and I can't say no because I feel so bad. And they're like, well, do you think you could make a small donation?
You just say no. They'll move on.
I know, but I just feel like
they're on government. I was going to say government. The liquor store is government property. They're on government property business, harassing you, hectoring you.
I know. Okay, thank you. Because I felt like a little like that's kind of sleazy to come into a place of work and ask the people working for money.
No, dude.
I'm working. That means I don't have money. I'm trying to get money.
You think about that too, like when you go on break, and like that's what I did when I worked in Kansas City, and I would like go on break and like think about if I went, there's a McDonald's right there, literally on the same block, and I would always be like, oh my god, if I walked over there, okay, so that would have just undone the past X number of hours of work or whatever.
Yeah, or like I know. You're like, oh, this meal is 2 hours of work.
So usually if I'm working, like I literally will not even buy myself a lunch. And like when we do the drumline stuff over the summers where it's all day, like I cannot afford, in my mind, if I am devoting a day to work, I am not going to spend money out of my pocket on anything, like the fact that I have to drive myself there in gas is already way too much money spent to make work. It should be illegal.
Start biking. Bike to Olathe.
Okay. I'll bike to Olathe.
Bike to Olathe.
So let's see.
Anyway, I did. Okay.
I'm gonna search
I did feel like it was a little sleazy, but I just wanted to confirm because sometimes I don't read people correctly, and I'm like, yeah, that was up, and then the people are like, no, how, what? So yeah, that felt a little but peace uncomfortable.
Bad. It's only 3-hour bike ride.
Oh, there you go.
What if you're pedaling your little heart out?
What, like 3 in the morning?
Yeah, so I get up at 5
so
now.
It won't even be warm.
So yeah. That does seem very short, though. I mean, it's a 45-minute drive.
Yeah,
50 with roadwork traffic. So it only goes...
Oh, God, we love it. Merge late. Late merge.
I guess it's more of like a direct path, though, it looks like.
Use both lanes. That would be
fun. Dude, I should do that someday. I should just bike my little heart out to work one day. You get in, you're all sweaty. It's like in the winter, so I'm like biking in the winter. It's like cold, so I'm like sweating extra hard to stay warm, and then you get inside, the heater's on. It's like, and then you
literally feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, schools are always so hot in the winter.
God, they are. I know.
We love it.
What?
Yeah, do
okay,
it.
yeah. No, so I just cut my hair too, so I'm like feeling it.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
sexy.
cleaned
I'll be
up the back
honest.
finally. So now no one can make fun of my
Whatever you're doing with the long hair is kind of
No,
the
now no one can make fun of me because I cleaned up the back and now it looks like a normal haircut. I was waiting to where it
looks
got
good.
exactly this length to cut it.
You look
So I
like
didn't have any awkward
Sam.
talent.
No,
Ray.
Sam Ray. I used to have a major crush on him, so I'm feeling a little weird.
Okay. Yeah, let's put a nail in this. No, dude, don't. And plus,
I can't say
like,
no. I don't know.
You're
I already said
bartering
no
hours of your
once.
life for I don't even want to say a stranger, even if it was like fully valid. Like they basically, you saw them walk out of the church, they drive to the church, walk in, talk to people, talk to the Pope, walk out of the church and walk over to you. You know they're legit. Even then, you're working. Like,
Yeah.
get a life.
Yeah.
And plus, you also don't want to establish like because they'll probably keep a list. Of,
I know,
like,
and
they'll be back.
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's why I was really uncomfortable doing it in front of my manager too.
Yeah, I'm surprised
and
she wasn't. I'm surprised she didn't like as a good manager just step in and be like, "Oh no, hey, no, we do not do that while employees
she
are
walked
working."
off. And the audacity is, those people said, "So does your coworker want to donate too?" I said, "No, she's good." Yeah, it's just so I get it. Like that's how you raise money, but like don't do it to people who are working.
No, if it's a church, then they give shillings or whatever. Like,
yeah.
There are a lot of people who strictly
like
adhere to that 10% of their income goes to the church. Like there are a lot of people, and even if it's just 2 or 3 people in the church who do that, that's a lot of money. Like
why
right
come
there,
into
and
a
they don't,
liquor store?
and they don't have to pay taxes either.
Like, bro, you think I'm making the big bucks? No, I'm not. So that leads us into vulnerability hour. I'm gonna lay everything out on the table and get your advice because I feel like you have experienced something similar. I'm not gonna get into your details unless you want me to. But so basically, from the beginning, when Nick's dad found out I worked at a liquor store, he really did not like that. His
dad or his mom? I thought his dad was chill.
No, his dad. So his dad also, is like
sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry to cut you off one last time. If there's anything that like if I ask any questions that are like too leading or like
okay,
it's like the dad of the mom thing. I mean, even that could be like a line that you don't want to put out there. Okay, so just say
I've
just clap your hands and say, okay, actually, could you cut out what you just said? Because I might ask a question. Back at it. Go.
We've only
25 minutes.
No. So Nick's dad is like a super high up in a bank, like super high up, like he's the one doing like deals and stuff, whatever. So he's like he puts like a lot of importance on career. And even when I've been with them for like brunch and stuff, his sister was like, yeah, my boyfriend's going to be working on planes or whatever. And his first question is, well, how much is he going to make? Like, that's how important this man's, views are on careers and money and all that. And, so from the beginning, he has like been on Nick's about getting me to find a new job that is like suitable for, I guess, his dad, like that would appease his dad. And it was like a really big problem at the beginning of our relationship because Nick would get on like his dad would get on his about it. And like we would get into like arguments to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to be with you if you're going to ask me all the time about when I'm going to find a new job, because that shouldn't be important, I get it is a little important if we're living together, but we're not. And I've also expressed to him that I want to find a new job once we move in together. But anyway, so yesterday, And oh my God, when I go to their house, it is the most uncomfortable thing because that is like the first thing he'll ask. So, you still working at the store? You think about looking for another job anytime soon? That kind of. And it's just like super uncomfortable, and it's like something I'm like super just self-conscious of. I already feel like a failure for everything. I'm not going to get into my whole backstory on why I feel like a failure, but I do. So for him to like make me feel like I am not worthy to date his son because of my current employment is like putting such a strain. And this is what I told Nick last night. I said, it puts such a strain on our relationship because I am opening myself up to more like judgment and pain, like dating you, that I already put on myself. So I was wondering if you could give me a little insight on what to do, or, just anything. Because I know like it never stops. Because he said his dad got on him again not too long ago about it. And I'm like, I told him, yeah, I don't know if I want to go to Thanksgiving with you this year, when I could just go to my family's house, who will not judge me and make me feel like shit. So, doctor,
yes.
is it terminal?
Organize my thoughts really quickly.
Yeah, sorry. I put a lot down.
Also, I'm playing Wordle right now, so I'm trying to figure out, like, I guess bread.
Watching Subway Surfers. I'll try peace. Yeah, it's just a super thing, and it's been happening since quite literally the beginning of our relationship. So it's been bringing me down. And I know everyone says, you're not dating the parents, you're dating the person. But it's like, no, their family and how they view me is so important, especially because this is like my first, like first serious relationship. And like, I've always wanted like somebody's family to like me. I don't think people realize how difficult it is, like going into situations knowing these people don't like me, and having to just like fake that, like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, what's up? And then when I leave, they like talk on me.
Yeah. So, okay. I think, I'll just kind of share what helped me, I guess. Yeah, so my career field, it's hard too, because like if you see the value of like what you're good at and knowing that doesn't necessarily in like a business sense translate over to money.
Yeah.
Oh, fudge, dude. You kind of have to go I've been doing some studies of Miyamoto Musashi and just staying focused and being the best samurai of all time, which he was. Okay. Survived 60 plus duels, outlived all samurai, and became a ronin and a philosopher, and like widely regarded as like the greatest, or one of Japan's all-time greats, and I try to apply I think so. Sorry, this is going to be a little scattered as well, but I have a few main points that I want to get to that I think would be helpful for you because they were helpful for me. I think opening up to some sort of either philosophical or religious backbone to kind of stand on was probably the single best thing I ever did, because I feel like your perception of things is very much a reality, where
we've talked about that.
The past few years, obviously with the pandemic and trying to be a let's call it what it is. The pandemic, the pharmaceutical, lining the pharmaceutical companies' wallets. You know what I said to Natalie? I'm going to have to bleep this out.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Never mind. I won't say it.
No, say it, because I want to know.
I don't want to.
No, say it.
I'll bleep it. I said,
can't be smarter than on this side of the road, and I'm dead in the ditch. I'll know where, though I know where. I got shit to do, so with me, you end up like who on that milk cart. This person see me dart, then you get hit. I'm smoking like London in 16. What up to you about looking right at me? I'll name it, yeah, and I'm popping like Andy. I swear to see it's in the 505 hard. 1999, let's go feel as a car.
And that's
I'll have you know, I got sick 4 times in the past 3 years, which is not normal.
Oh, okay.
Usually a rotund bust boy.
Sorry for that, guys. I try not to do that anymore. Okay. The second best thing I ever did was gaining some level of self-confidence to get myself moving in the right direction. And I think that's the other thing that's kind of tough to say to you, because I love you. And I think
God.
The other day when I said you need to start working out, what I meant by that was I did not mean anything beyond. I forgot to finish the thought of that, which is I think you were complaining about neck pain or something. I realized a lot of
my fingers are going tingly.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. And I was talking to Kathy about neck and back pain. My neck and back pain has improved 90% since I got a little more serious about getting onto a regular lifting schedule. And then I look at myself, I finish a workout, and I literally stare at myself in the mirror for 25 to 30 minutes straight, where I'm like just walking by mirrors and just checking myself out and feeling like the man. And then that carries on the rest of the day.
Freak.
I know.
That is not normal.
What that's meant to say is that it's been hard, for everybody, let alone the self-employed pro musician. Samurai. So I treat my craft as the samurai treats his swordsmanship, I want to be the very best, and I think there's something to say for becoming a master of what you do in the way that a samurai does. And listen, everybody, I am not at all putting on a pedestal or being a drummer on any sort of pedestal. I'm just saying that's what I've chosen to become a master of. And I think that art of mastering something that is important to you, F off anybody else, what anybody else said. Well, who needs to be a good drummer? That's not even a question that needs answered. I think I need to be the best drummer I can, and I need to create more best drummers in the world that they can be. And that's my life's passion. And poo-poo on you if you don't think that's as important as I do. So for you, I think getting some level of that, because I've gone fully from wanting to kill myself and change career fields. And I can't change career field because I tried it. And then I was about to kill myself. All the way back to, I'm the man. You can't touch me. I'm the man. God, I have something in my eye. I'm Miyamoto Musashi. Due to, like I said, and the thing with like either a religious or philosophical backbone is it gives you something to fall back on, right? So it takes the hard work out of making any single decision. You just study up on whatever interests you, which I'm curious, are there any philosophies? And here's the thing about that. You pick the one that you like and then you stick with it until you feel like you need to change to a different one. They're all so different. We watched a philosopher tier list, and just showing even concurrently 2 people at the same time, the greatest philosophical minds the world has ever known. Have religion, they're atheists, they're agnostic, they believe we're living in a simulation, whatever. They can get to totally different conclusions. And it's kind of like the thing is like, if your philosophy is, I need to look out for my family above all else. And if I see someone as not looking out for them, I take that as a danger to themselves. And I'm going to help and I'm going to fix and I'm going to make sure that this family is looked after and cared for. Okay. So that's Nick's dad's philosophy. Maybe your philosophy is, dog, I got to look out for me. Nick could die, but my life is still going on. You could die. My life is still going on. I could lose everybody, but no matter what, I'm looking out for me. I got to do what I got to do. I think both of those are perfectly valid, but you stick to whatever your philosophy is. So, is there any sort of central point or anything like that interests you? I'm just genuinely curious.
Not one that I've like fully fleshed out. I mean,
oh, and don't figure it out yourself. That's the other thing too. You don't have to, sorry, that was the other thing, just because that was something I struggled with. I thought I had to go my own way. And then the moment I realized that other people have done all that hard work for you, you don't have to, you can pick up where they left off, because your life is here and gone, you know. Don't try to do 5,000 years worth of work in your lifetime, you know. Figure out the one that you like. But are there any that interest you? So like either like Buddhism or Confucianism or Christianity or any of those that you're like, this is lit, kind of?
I don't know, because I haven't really studied up. I took a philosophy class and it sucked, because it was that bullshit that's like, A, if B, then do C, blah, blah, blah. And also the dude, I was arguing why I didn't really f with religion, and he tore my shit apart. And I could tell it was because he was like a Christian, which I was like, this doesn't feel right. If you're a philosophy professor, then maybe you shouldn't have a bias. Question mark. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, Buddhism seems cool.
I would agree with that.
I haven't really, obviously, family is very important to me. Work is not important to me. I want to live my life and look back at the end of it and go, yeah, I spent enough time with my family and I did the things I wanted to do in my life. Not, yeah, I worked hard enough. I made enough money. Whatever the that is. Pioneering. I don't know.
Right. So
I just don't place importance on like wealth. Like, yes, money is cool, but if I'm able to do the things that I'm happy with or happy to do and my family is healthy and I can take care of my family, I'm good.
Yeah. So I think for you in this specific situation, I don't even think the job. Okay. So what I was going to say about that, it is, to me, it is a little hard to watch any creative, industrious, productive person like feel the way that you're feeling right now. You know? And I'm trying to word this in a way that doesn't sound like it's hard to watch you waste your life, because it's not that at all, because that's exactly what I just got over, 4 years of, of like falling out of love with it, of whatever that is that you do and what you do for the sake of doing, and let alone if it is your job or not or whatever, But I think it's hard to see you without that outlet, whatever that happens to be. And I don't know, maybe you're like drawing and doodling or whatever in your free time. And I don't know, maybe it's not even pencil art.
Playing video games.
Or whatever. Right? Yeah. So, but to watch someone who has done that not do that anymore for any period of time is just, because it's hard, like everybody goes through periods of that. So I'm curious, like, what is the classic Taoist question is, also remind me, I have some really easy, accessible reason. Do you listen to podcasts? Ever? Even just like 20, 30-minute episodes?
Chubby Behemoth, that's like it.
Okay. Could I send you a Taoism podcast that got me into it? Like, it's super easy to digest, super... Okay. It's a little cheesy. The guy's kind of he's super normie. But it's like this army guy who you don't even figure that out until he brings it up like way later in the podcast. And he talks about how he has to rectify joining a force of violence, with what he did, so it kind of gets into, but basically what he does is he breaks down a chapter. The chapters are just pages out of the book, basically. So it's like a short poem or whatever. It doesn't even have to rhyme or anything, but just a short like excerpt. And then he reads it, he breaks it down, applies it in like a daily situation, and then rereads it again. So it's like super accessible. You don't have to like translate Chinese or anything like that to get into it. But that was one that really helped me to kind of, since I was listening to podcasts anyway. So I'll send that to you. But what I was going to say is the classic question is, if you're on an island, or if you have infinite wealth, whatever, blah, 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 you know where this is going. What would you do if you didn't have to work ever again? Like what would you do the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Whether that's on an island or, so what is that for you? I'm curious.
Can I only one thing? Only one thing?
No.
Oh, probably what I do when I get off work, which is like play video games, which is something I've newly gotten into. I did not used to do that. So I'm taking this as a new skill. No, I paint my nails and I paint. Those are like the 3 things I do.
What else?
Okay. What else?
No, I'm just kidding. You said paint. Is that more like your jam? Do you think you would draw? I don't know why I have this. You're like the drawer you're the drawer for some reason.
Drawing is hard.
Okay. I was just curious.
If I don't have like something in front of me, like a reference.
Yeah. And I mean, you can think about it. There is actually another video I'll send you that Alan Watts. What would you do? And I think in watching this, it's a short video. I think in watching this, you'll figure out like more. I'm not very good at like disseminating this to people. There people who are much better at this. But he goes through it. He's like, okay, say you don't need to do that or whatever. Like whatever. So I'll send that to you too. To wrap this up a little bit more. So your perception is reality, and I also think having I'm going to say backbone because I can't think of a better word, but like a framework or a backbone to empower yourself to get through this. And these conflicts is really important because eventually over time, something's going to erode away. Either that's you taking a job, doing something, or maybe it's just he shuts up, and just finally stops talking about it as much as you don't think it will. The reason he does is because other people entertain it his whole life. And as much as you're like transparent and open and honest and within your framework being like, well, either I'm working on it or it just doesn't really interest me. And he's going to get so mad. But how many times can he get so mad about that before he's just finally like, all right, it's a lost cause. I don't care. And then you're not a fortune teller. Maybe he's like, maybe he becomes happily surprised, at a very small move, maybe instead of you just move, quote, in the right direction a little bit. Maybe and then he's like, all right, this is lit. And then it's happily ever after. But the top point that I wrote down was it'll never be enough. People who have this like just hunger for wealth, and that's like the ape part of your mind. That's like, you hoard for for Ragnarok, people like need to be ready for the end of the world that's right around the corner, the financial downfall of the world. And even if that were the case, your money's not going to help you then either, like it's not like it's whatever. I mean, but it is real too, though. That's the other thing I don't want to get too far away from. I wish I had more money. I'm scared a lot of the times. I make like really unhealthy decisions a lot of the time, or not so much anymore now that things are kind of evening out. But like if you're just like literally just eating bread all week and rice because you can't afford anything else, like that's very real too. The mental toll, which does get easier when you have a little more confidence, perception is reality, you start working out, things become easier. That was the other thing I was going to say. Like our financial situation really has not changed that much. It's like always like, if we missed a month of work, we would have to live out of the back of our cars, whatever, it's like, that's always what it's been. But the difference is now it feels like the day to day is just so much more optimistic and happy. And you feel like hungry to work and to do things you want to do versus like doing it just out of spite or out of just sheer terror for everything you love being taken away. So that's where I really, really, really do feel like doing some sort of physical movement and exercise and exerting yourself. Not to mention just all the other like longevity and your bones get better. Your bones get stronger. The only thing that make your bones stronger is lifting heavy weights, What?
Yeah.
Whatever. There's
Kathy just texted.
There's a lot of benefits to it, but man, just the mental feeling, the having all the bad aches and pains go away, But anyway, this is not like a working out, but I just, the good that it's been to me that I've gotten serious about this since like the middle or beginning of summer. Like, I feel like a changed man. And I think that's the only thing that could have done it for me. Take it over the top, mix that with some sort of philosophy or religion or spirituality or whatever. Then it's just like these issues are like not even issues anymore, you know, like nothing is a problem at that point. It's just like there just there exists things that are, you know, and it's like they're nothing more than what they are. They're not problems, they're not positives, negatives, whatever. You kind of just hit this equilibrium where you're going on like normal person autopilot who doesn't even think about this stuff. And I think that's the best place to get to, if you can. But I'm excited to talk about this more in the future or whatever. And yeah, I'll send you some of this stuff. I think it'll be a good like introduction. I think too, I feel like you'd be interested in this stuff as well. More back to kind of like Buddhism and Taoism and stuff like that. I don't know. Or are you just like, okay, I'm just never going to listen to that?
No, I'll listen to it. Maybe I'll go for a walk and listen to it.
Dude, walking. Yeah.
And,
dude, yeah.
Hopefully not get kidnapped.
And I'm trying not to say this in like a checklist type of way. Like I'm not trying to like give you homework or anything, but man, if you can like go for a walk around the neighborhood and just put in a pod and just come back home when it's done or something. I feel like by the end of the week, if you did that every single day, and then by the end of the week, I feel like we would report back and you'd be like, oh my God, what was I crying about last week? This is so cute.
This is so cute. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No, you're good. It's good advice, and it is advice I need to hear for sure. Yeah.
That was a little scatter shot too. Can we try this again?
Yeah, start over.
Welcome to Siblings in Name Only. Dude, when we see Sam Talent...
it's good. Okay, no,
I'm going to shove a camera in his face and I'm going to say, I'm a Lund guy. And then I'm going to say, can you say, hi, this is Sam Talent and you're watching Siblings in Name Only.
No, it is good advice. It is, yeah, no, I'm just in like a bummed mood still about everything. And I know like only I can get myself out of that. And that's, yeah.
That is true. And it's hard to hear and it's hard to say and it's hard to accept too.
Yeah.
And I'm not even pretending it's like a fix all thing because that's the other thing. It's like, I remember trying to, dude, it literally just takes time and it takes time doing the right things over and over. And it takes a routine and a schedule. Like you don't have to be jazz embodified, you know, or embodied, whatever. You don't have to be the person who's like, yeah, I can just pick up and roll with the punches through anything. I don't have a schedule. I wake up and I travel, you know, like, no, dude, you're statistically average, and average statistically means that you like a schedule and you like a routine and, you know, you want to do stuff the same way whenever you can.
Yeah.
Well,
so I appreciate it.
Well, what are you up to?
Probably gonna go kill his dad, honestly. I feel like that would just actually
channel that, dude.
Oh,
the other thing too, you'll get noob gains, so you'll notice your body change immediately if you start working out.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
We'll cover this more next week about working out. Because That's
a totally different topic. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't know that in.
How to work out, I guess, is the
I'll get you set up.
Other than like getting a gym membership, and I don't
do that.
Want to pay for that.